everyone, this is Udo, reporting for the popular fishing magazine Weekly Fish. Today I'm here with Dave, diver and brave explorer of the giant blue hole, a mysterious region of the sea with ever-changing bathymetry, which amazingly contains different types of fish from all over the world. Dave, can you please tell our readers how you came to be at the blue hole, and share the details of some of your exciting adventures with us?
Well, it all started as I was relaxing on a beach during my vacation, when suddenly, I received a phone call from my friend Cobra, an entrepreneur who told me he had started a sushi restaurant, promising me a ton of delicious sushi, which I love, if I hurried to his location. So, I hopped on a plane, and after arriving here at the Blue Hole, Cobra took me out on his boat and explained the nature of the area, and that his restaurant, Bancho Sushi, has its dishes prepared by Bancho, a worldly and highly skilled, though unconventional, sushi chef. Cobra then asked me to join him and Bancho as their third business partner, diving into the Blue Hole to catch fish during the day, and then bringing them to the restaurant and serving them to customers at night. While meeting Bancho and inspecting the restaurant for myself, a strong earthquake occurred, damaging the sushi bar. Since Cobra already invested all his money building the restaurant, he said we'd need to raise the repair funds by selling sushi, so I grabbed my dive knife and harpoon and got to work. After a hard night's work serving customers, we finally earned enough for Cobra to take care of the repairs. The next morning, Dr. Bacon, an archaeologist looking for artifacts related to the ancient Sea People civilization, arrived on his boat and asked me to help him in this search. I agreed, found a fish statue while diving, and gave it to him, in exchange for him helping to increase the popularity of Bancho Sushi by spreading the word on social media. Dr. Bacon gave me a radar to track more artifacts, which led me to an underwater carved stone doorway, but it was completely blocked off by rocks. I scavenged parts so Cobra could build a bomb and took it, along with an underwater camera, back to the doorway, and after the explosion blew it open, I discovered a Sea People record chamber, with a mural on its wall depicting King Long, former ruler of the Sea People, and another artifact on its floor. After returning to the surface and giving Dr. Bacon the artifact and a photograph of the mural to study, a boat arrived with activists from Sea Blue, an alleged environmental protection organization with dubious and violent methods, led by John Watson, a self-proclaimed former Navy SEAL, alarmed by the underwater explosion. The following day, Dr. Bacon told me that he was able to detect a very strong signal in the ocean depths, which would require a deep-sea headlamp for exploration to light the way in the total darkness. So, I called up Duff, a local tech expert and weaponsmith, who offered to provide a headlamp in exchange for me retrieving his figurine of Leah's, an Assault-class pixie character from the game Master of Eternity, which he ordered, but the delivery was sunk in a shipwreck. Diving to the sunken transport ship, I found the pink delivery box, guarded by the same creature responsible for the wreck, a giant squid, which I was forced to fight and defeat, retrieving both the Leah's Chan figure and the ingredients for delicious squid sushi, which Bancho then prepared. With the headlamp equipped, I began to make my way down to the Blue Hole depths when I was ambushed by John Watson, who I was forced to battle and defeat, causing him to retreat for the time being. I then encountered two living sea people, Ramo, daughter of their village's chief, and Suam, her guardian, who I was able to communicate with thanks to Dr. Bacon creating a translator device, and after learning that Ramo was injured from the giant squid, I gathered various medicinal corals, which Bancho prepared into a coral porridge. After Ramo ate the porridge and recovered enough to move again, I carried her back to the village, clearing the way with the help of Dr. Bacon's amazing diving gloves, which allowed me to get a good grip on the rocks and other slippery objects underwater. Just before reaching the Sea People village, I came face to face with a giant wolf eel, which I battled and killed before proceeding to the village, which was thriving, canopied by the divine tree, a huge tree with glowing golden fruits. After meeting with Tenzin, Ramo's father and current ruler of the Sea People as their village chief, I learned that the earthquake problem was even worse there, as they were closer to the source of the violent tremors, causing various issues for the villagers. To prove my good intentions to the village, I helped the villagers solve their problems, and was granted the ability to teleport to the village using a pair of magical Sea People mirrors, one of which was in the village, and the other I installed on Cobra's boat. Returning to the sushi bar late, after it had already closed for the day, I decided to use the time to clean the place up, with only Momo, the local stray cat who's also our restaurant's mascot, for company, when Yoshi, the hiring manager helping us staff the bar, stopped by. She told me a story from when she was Bancho's manager at the 5-star Dugong Hotel they both worked at 12 years earlier, where Boncho attempted to serve an unorthodox whole-roasted shark head to Lois Crawford, a famous actress and food critic staying at the hotel. Disgusted at the sight of it, Lois refused to even try it, canceling her room reservation and abruptly leaving the hotel, snubbing Boncho's culinary skills, which caused him to quit his job there, saying that he needed to continue training, traveling the world as he had before. After a good night's sleep, I headed back down to the depths, where I ventured into the abandoned cave near the village entrance, discovering the Gadon, ancient mutated sea people created 800 years earlier during the reign of King Long. Dash, a senior technician among the sea people at that time, attempted to harness the divine tree and its fruit's power, which had already been used for the technological advancement of their civilization, to modify the anatomy of some of them, which granted enhanced strength at first, but eventually caused their mutation into Gadons. King Long was occupied at the time with building control rooms to ensure a steady supply of resources from the tree, unaware of Dash's unauthorized experiments, and so Dash proceeded to also infuse the fruit's extracted energy into an Anomalocaris, or ancient shrimp-like creature, called Yowie. After I obtained the glacial passage key from the cave, to allow me access to the glacial area even deeper than the village, where the divine tree's roots, the control room, and the source of the earthquakes were located, I had to make it through another tremor, the swarming Gadons, and a second fight with John Watson, whose advanced suit I destroyed in the process, taking a piece of it with me. Entering the glacial passage and borrowing Cobra's trusty crowbar to help align the ancient machines built to harness the power of the divine tree's fruits to clear the blockages of solid ice, I ran into a huge Gadon, which I narrowly escaped and defeated by causing the tunnel it was chasing me through to collapse using heavy boulders, crushing it. While I was doing this, Dr. Bacon was investigating an ancient cave back up on land, where he discovered murals depicting a history of peaceful coexistence between humans and sea people, with the sea people even gifting some of the divine tree's fruit to them. However, the humans misunderstood the fruit's use as a power source, and some ate them, which caused their deaths. Enraged at this perceived betrayal, the humans declared war on the sea people, hunting and killing many of them in return, ending the period of peace and causing the sea people to go into hiding from humans, remaining undetected until I ran into them. Dr. Bacon then found an ancient rebreather that the sea people created for humans before they became hostile, just as a group of pirates happened upon the cave, leading to his daring escape by boat. Afterward, I met up with Dr. Bacon and explained that I would need an upgraded diving suit to withstand the extreme cold temperatures of the glacial area. He told me that he could create one by combining the warm divine tree fruit cloth the sea people gave me, the rebreather he found in the cave, and a mechanical part like the one I took from John Watson's suit, but intact. So, I waited until nightfall and followed one of Sea Blue's underwater scouting drones into their secret base, where I discovered that they were capturing, killing, and processing dolphins for meat, despite their public eco-friendly image. I snuck past their guards, quiet as a snake, and retrieved a tech suit core just before being spotted, forcing me to make a daring escape. Donning the diving suit, I headed back into the glacial area, and after stabilizing the extremely high geothermal water temperature in the area's outer control rooms, with the help of Niamo, the Sea People's Shrine Keeper, the Beluga, a whale serving as the village's taxi service, and surprisingly, even Suam, I was finally able to swim down to the main control room entrance. Unfortunately, before I could open it and gain access, John Watson showed up again, this time in a Sea Blue submarine, but as I was dodging his torpedoes, the Kronosaurus, a massive ancient creature, suddenly emerged from the depths and chomped down on the submarine before flinging it into some ruins, causing it to explode, killing John. Thankfully, the submarine's torpedo launcher was still functional, and I managed to use it to defeat the Kronosaurus, before turning my attention back to the control room entrance door, which was jammed shut due to the enormous roots of the divine tree entwined around it. Luckily, Dr. Bacon's Explorer drone arrived soon after, augmented by Duff's laser cutter, which was able to cut through the thick roots, allowing me to finally enter the control room. Once inside, I was horrified to discover that the tree's roots had been infested and mutated by the offspring of Yowie, the creature Dash infused with the fruit's power centuries ago. Clearing them with an ancient laser cannon powered by the fruit, I proceeded to the heart of the control room, where I found more offspring attacking the tree's core, realizing that its instability had been the cause of all the earthquakes. After destroying them, I watched the core return to normal, just before witnessing Yowie itself emerge from the molten lava below. Knowing that Yowie had to be stopped, or else the earthquakes would continue, Duff activated the attack mode he also installed on Dr. Bacon's Explorer drone, allowing me to even the odds in my battle against it. After a long fight, Yaoi became entangled in the tree's roots, and with the help of Tenzin, Ramo, Suwam, and the village's 2 gate guards, Awang and Nawang, we were able to aim a massive ancient cannon, powering it with fruit, which caused Yaoi's head to explode, finally killing it and ending the earthquakes for good. Afterward, I joined everyone at the bar to celebrate our victory.
Ramo and Suwam swam up to the surface to watch the celebratory fireworks. Duff began receiving his action figures again. Dua, the Sea People Smith, sculpted a statue of me in the village, designed by Niamo and approved by Tenzin. Maki, a young girl who started working at the bar after her father was killed by the Cleone Queen, a gigantic variation of the small, floating sea slug, managed to impress Bancho with her cooking, while Yoshi oversaw them approvingly. Mima, the Sea People chef, Kazin, their seed vendor, and Gumo, their farmer, all ate Bancho's cooking with interest and delight. I continued assisting Dr. Bacon with studying the sea people by bringing back valuable artifacts. Bancho was interviewed again by Yui, a television show presenter paired with Vincent Yamaoka, a sushi expert, for Star the Chef, where Vincent tastes and rates up-and-coming restaurants, and Challenge the Chef, where top chefs go head-to-head in cooking competitions. Bancho gave Momo fresh fish, which he took to eat with his partner and their kitten, Mochi. Sato, a collector of Marinka, or marine cards, a virtual card app which creates cards based on interactions with marine creatures, received Yaoi's card after I shared it with him through the app. Cobra enjoyed a drink with Otto, the bar's local crop and fish farmer, and Ellie, a biology graduate student. And me? I finally got some rest after all my hard work, where I had the strangest dream about diving in outer space. The next day, Miki, a member of the United Nations Godzilla Countermeasures Center, or UNGCC, where she serves on G-Force, their military branch, appeared in her submarine and explained that Godzilla, a large kaiju, or strange beast, had settled in the blue hole while it recovered from a recent fight with another kaiju. Since I'm familiar with the area, she asked me for help locating it, which I did, sleeping in the abandoned cave formerly occupied by the Gaddons. After I returned to the bar, Miki showed up, asking me to accompany her to go check on Godzilla, as she detected another kaiju heading this way, likely to attack Godzilla while it was weakened. As we headed toward Godzilla in her submarine, the lobster-shaped kaiju appeared, which she identified as Ebirah, seeking revenge on Godzilla after past losses, and attacked us. After a harrowing battle, we managed to injure Ebirah enough that it retreated, returned to the surface, and started heading toward the bar. Just before Ebirah reached it, though, Godzilla emerged from the depths, and a clash of titans ensued, with both giants trading vicious blows, but ultimately Godzilla, empowered by the blue hole's mysterious energy, was the victor, with Ebirah defeated and sinking beneath the ocean as Godzilla walked away, leaving the area behind in its wake. In the days that followed, there would sometimes be a strange thick fog that appeared during the daytime, its color turning red at night, greatly obscuring visibility above the ocean's waters. On the first night this occurred, Cobra and I were visited by a traveling merchant who told us about aberrations, sea species that have strangely mutated or changed in some bizarre way, only appearing on nights of the red moon and mist. She also informed us that mysterious humanoid creatures known as hooded figures feed on these aberrated fish, and would pay a premium price for them if we served them at the bar. To help us find our way in the darkness, she lent us a special searchlight called Skyfire, which we mounted to Cobra's boat and made our way to the diving spots, dredging up valuables which also appeared in the water on the way. After catching some of these strange fish, we served them at the bar, and sure enough, the hooded figures poured in, eating tons and paying well. The merchant stopped by after we closed to buy the leftovers, as she said they would be spoiled by the next day with regular storage methods. With all the various excitements behind us, we turned our attention back to the bar, where we focused on improving the quality and taste of our menu items. We became recurring guests on Challenge the Chef, winning several competitions against some of the world's top chefs, which caught the attention of Lois Crawford, Bancho's old nemesis, leading her to bring the renowned Italian chef Pastro Antogiovanni to the bar for the show's final challenge. After Bancho was once again declared the winner, Pastro stormed off, while Vincent convinced Lois to finally try Bancho's cooking, which she did and absolutely loved it. This caused her to immediately admit that she had been wrong all those years, change her opinion of Bancho, express her desire to spread his philosophy of unique food preparation, and offer to fund the opening of a second Bancho sushi branch restaurant, which he accepted. We then turned our improvement focus to Cooksta, a social media restaurant rating app, which ranks restaurants based on amount of customer followers, high level of food tastiness, and variety of dishes available. We worked hard and rose through the ranks of bronze, silver, gold, and platinum before finally reaching the ultimate goal of diamond rank, and together with our new branch location, have attained the highest level of food service to our customers, making Bancho happy, the highest level of profit, making Cobra happy, and the highest level of sushi, making me happy.
Wow, what an incredible story! Thanks so much for your time today, Dave. I'm sure our readers will love this article, accompanied by all the great pictures of rare sea life you provide us with. This is Udo for Weekly Fish, wishing everyone happy tales out there.